The Middle East is once again teetering on the brink of a wider war, with Israel engaged in military operations on two fronts against Hamas in Lebanon and the Houthis in Yemen. This precarious situation escalated dramatically, with a brazen Houthi missile attack aimed at the heart of Israel, followed by swift and deadly Israeli retaliation. The international community led by the United States is scrambling to de-escalate the situation and prevent a humanitarian catastrophe. The recent flare-up comes amidst heightened tensions in the region, particularly surrounding the anniversary of the devastating Hamas assault on Israel on October 7, 2023. This attack, which caught Israel off guard, has significantly heightened security concerns and fueled a desire for retribution. The Houthis, emboldened by their recent missile strike and fueled by their alliance with Iran, have vowed to escalate their military operations against Israel. This complex conflict is further complicated by the fragile situation in Lebanon, where a potential Israeli ground offensive looms large. Hezbollah, the Iranian-backed militant group deeply entrenched in Lebanon, has signaled its readiness to confront any Israeli incursion. The specter of a wider regional conflict, drawing in numerous actors with long-standing grievances and competing interests, is a chilling possibility. The current situation underscores the volatile nature of the Middle East, where historical animosities, religious tensions, and geopolitical rivalries continue to fuel conflict and instability. The international community faces the daunting task of navigating this complex web of actors and interests to prevent further bloodshed and forge a path towards a more peaceful future. On September 15, 2024, the world watched with bated breath as a Houthi ballistic missile hurtled towards Israel, ultimately landing near Ben Gurion Airport. While the Houthis claimed responsibility for the attack and boasted of their advanced hypersonic capabilities, experts cast doubt on these assertions. Regardless of its technological sophistication, the missile's range, exceeding 1,900 kilometers, marked the longest-range attack ever launched from Yemen. The audacity of the attack, striking at the heart of Israel and momentarily breaching its vaunted defense systems, sent shockwaves through the region. Israel, vowing a swift and decisive response, wasted no time in launching retaliatory airstrikes against targets in Yemen. These strikes, targeting what Israel claimed were Houthi military installations, resulted in a significant number of casualties, including both militants and civilians. The exchange of fire marked a significant escalation in the conflict between Israel and the Houthis, raising fears of a wider regional conflagration. The Houthis, emboldened by their ability to strike deep within Israeli territory, threatened further attacks, particularly as the anniversary of the October 7, 2023, Hamas assault approached. As the drums of war beat louder, a humanitarian crisis of immense proportions is unfolding in Lebanon. Over 1 million people have been displaced by the ongoing conflict, with many seeking refuge in overcrowded shelters lacking basic necessities. The risk of disease outbreaks is escalating rapidly, threatening to compound the already dire situation. The United States, deeply concerned about the humanitarian impact of the escalating conflict, has been spearheading diplomatic efforts to broker a ceasefire and find a peaceful resolution. President Biden has repeatedly called for an end to the violence and urged all parties to engage in dialogue. Secretary of State Blinken has been working tirelessly, engaging with regional and international partners to de-escalate tensions and prevent further bloodshed. Despite these efforts, a lasting ceasefire remains elusive. The situation on the ground remains volatile, with the threat of further violence looming large. The international community faces an uphill battle in its quest to bring peace and stability to this troubled region. Looming large over this complex conflict is the shadow of Iran, the regional power widely seen as the main backer of both Hamas and the Houthis. While Iran's exact level of involvement in the recent Houthi missile attack remains a subject of debate, its support for these groups is undeniable. The U.S. has accused Iran of providing an unprecedented flow of weaponry to the Houthis, further fueling the conflict. Iran's support for these groups is driven by its desire to counter what it perceives as Israeli and American influence in the region. By supporting groups like Hamas and the Houthis, Iran seeks to bleed its enemies and undermine their interests. This strategy of asymmetrical warfare allows Iran to project power and advance its agenda without directly confronting its more powerful adversaries. The long-running conflict in Yemen, where the Houthis have been battling the internationally recognized government for nearly a decade, further complicates the situation. The Houthis, a Shia Muslim group with historical ties to Iran, control a significant portion of Yemen and have proven to be a resilient fighting force. Finding a lasting solution to the conflict in Yemen, addressing the underlying grievances and power dynamics, will be crucial to achieving lasting peace in the region.